Yeah, this is Peter. You got me, but you don't really have me, so I'll try again, or just leave me a message. The fucking mirror is falling off. This is unbelievable. All of a sudden, mirror is off the moorings here. Tape it down. I have to have a car with a fucking taped mirror like some hobo. Never-ending battle of bullshit. Only $400, the way these people operate. Okay, not that.
Hi, Peter. It's Raymond. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I've tried like 55 places. No one seems to sell pajamas anymore. I've looked here, I've tried Williamsburg, Bay Ridge, that whole sleazy Flatbush shithole. I've walked all along up and down Broadway. I don't know who you have to pay for a pair of pajamas. It should be so simple. It's insane. But anyway, there's that Kerouac t-shirt. It's got him and Neil. You said the Buddy thing looked a little gay for a t-shirt, and I know you don't want black, but there's a lot of white in it. Although you don't want white either, but I also couldn't find Kilimanjaro for Anna. Of course, they had every other Hemingway. So I'm looking for the Simenon, the one you said they used for that Tavernier film. You probably did loan it to me. I must have it somewhere, as long as it's not with that stuff I lost in storage. Also, I couldn't find the other glasses. Also, Anna says that if she sits up, you'll see the dress in the shots, so she's bringing a nightgown. She knows you wanted the bare shoulders, but she said she can't be sleeping in a dress. And that strapless, I told you Oya still had it. Oya insists she gave it away 3 years ago. I swear it's still in the house, but it turned into a thing about whose memory's shot, whose is not, and it started to escalate, as if she'd seen some strapless thing on someone else, all of that insanity, like this was some clue and she's Columbo finding me out. So, Jesus, I had to close that one down. So anyway, if you want to postpone the shoot, sorry about this, I forgot to tell you this. Anna's leaving for Peter, St. Petersburg. Sometimes Russians call it Peter, but you're Peter, so that could be confusing. But anyway, she's leaving for Petersburg for 2 months, so that's going to make it tough on scheduling. But if we do it tomorrow, Anna has to be over 84th Street 5 at the latest. Yeah, sorry, 5. She has to sub for some chick got hit by a bicycle. Chinese fucking delivery guy put her in intensive care. And I just realized this morning I have a performance at that warehouse. I'm doing the piece you gave me, The Death of Renoir. I'm so sorry, I just can't cancel. The guy who's backing me up on sax, well, he sold the sax. He's actually playing his grandfather's sousaphone. His cousin's playing woodblocks and gongs. He's got some terminal disease. This is supposed to be very important for him. So anyway, the sousaphone and the gongs is not exactly ideal for the death of Renoir, so it's probably a good idea you're not coming. But, well, if you could drive me to Brooklyn after we drop Anna, I might just make it. I mean, without me, it's like strictly their heads in the toilet, and the gong guy seems to be really dying. I know you've said births, deaths, weddings, wars, the film's more important. I agree, but Jeffrey used the term, he's on the clock. On the clock. God, the way people talk. Did you ever hear that? On the clock? Anyway, that should still give us at least a couple of hours for the shoot. And if that's not enough, I know you can't wait till Anna's back from Petersburg. I'm sorry I didn't tell you she's leaving. In my mind, I kept reminding myself specifically. Then I thought I had told you, but really I must have been just remembering my own reminders to remember. Same with this gig at the Foundry, which is why I'll be a little lax with my lines. Anyway, all right. Sorry about the pajamas, the glasses, the book, the nightgown, the lines, the whole schedule disaster. One more thing that you don't need to hear. I know the rain fucks up your audio. Oya says it's supposed to stay like this until Sunday afternoon, so...
Sorry you're having trouble. If you're satisfied with the message, press 1. To listen to your message, press 2. To erase and re-record, press 3. At the end of your message, press 4.
Hi, Peter. It's Raymond. Just letting you know I'm still looking for the pajamas and the glasses, the Kilimanjaro, and that strapless I mentioned. Not sure I'll get them all by tomorrow. Hoping we can start really early. A few things happening. Looks like the evening's shot all to hell. Sorry. I don't know whether the rain has hit you hard yet, but it looks like it's blowing eastward, so hopefully it'll be over the Atlantic by then and not in the microphones. I know you said even a drizzle makes it sound like a mouse trying to knock and claw out of the closet. I think it was you said that, unless maybe... No, sure it was you. We were in D.C. recording the Feynman book after we saw that high-class whore in the blue mini dress with her name on her license plate coming up to service the Promise Keepers. She was parked illegally. You said, well, how do you think she gets away with it? Then you had that amazing encounter with her in the elevator. She ended up taking a shower in our room. This was all I was out looking to find a Dr. Scholl's for my foot. But anyway, I'm just wondering whether it's the same if it rains all the way in every take. At least it'd be even. I bring extra blankets for extra muffle, but the quilted kind I used to have would be ideal. They got moldy in the upstate storage disaster. Oh, I did see your book. I like the cover a lot. Broadway Barnes & Noble. I was looking for the Kilimanjaro. I drifted to the McCarthy. There it was, like the only hardcover in all those paperbacks. So it looks like that Putz Head review in the LA Times hasn't hurt it at all. Although that line about you being the least balanced guy to be so balanced at balancing sentences seems to be having its own viral life on the net. And I still think that line about your artwork, Cy Twombly working in wrong glasses, is really a kind of compliment, even though I know you don't see it that way. I really just wanted to buy it right off the shelf, but I've had to cut up my old 2 credit cards. I maxed out on the new one. I've had to switch banks. I borrowed from my mother. Oya is thinking of quitting her job, going back to Hunter for a PhD in Russian literature. But she hasn't seen her father in like 15 years and we're trying to get her back. But then I stopped over to Anna's and I saw they were shooting on the corner, a place called the French Roast. It must have been for that internet thing, Comedians in Cars. It was Jerry. It was Seinfeld. They were setting up for the shot. He was standing, talking to some guy. Oh, did I tell you I saw Christopher Walken in Soho? It was walking right beside me, just outside of the Zendo. Walking next to Walken. All of a sudden I see this guy in a long coat walking with an espresso in this little paper espresso cup with a paper handle on it. It's him. He looks scary as shit. You don't want to go up shake his hand. Did I tell you I thought I saw the fat mook guy from Mean Streets? Rick took me to Sammy's Romanian, and I see this guy in the corner, looks exactly like...
Sorry you're having trouble. If you're satisfied with the message, press 1. To listen to your message, press 2. To erase and re-record, press 3. At the end of your message, press 4.
Hi, Peter. It's Raymond. I know you hate shooting with rain noising up the sound. It's raining here like Kurosawa. It's supposed to keep up, so let me know if you need to cancel. I'll tell Anna. I'm sure she'll understand. You might want to wait till after the monsoon season. Right now I can hardly see the Hellgate or the Triborough. Sorry, the Robert F. K. Memorial Bridge. You're supposed to drive it, I guess, remembering that Bobby was hiring the mob and thugs from Cuba like Rolando Cubella to assassinate Castro with a fountain pen. Anyway, at the moment the weather's doing a real Rashomon. Oya says the rain makes her think of Petersburg. One particular day she was reading The Possessed, so maybe it'll somehow magically help the film. Rain on the East River somehow wipes away time for me, like it's raining on the Indians were living here before Henry Hudson, or are living here before Henry Hudson. Funny, I don't see them in the rain. I feel them in the rain. I know science is supposed to boss everything around, but I just can't seem to let it. Maybe I'm more like my father than I care to admit. For all we know, when Indians die, they come back as rain, so maybe they really are falling into the East River. Anyway, sorry I'm blathering. All right, okay, so let me know, thanks. Oh, one more thing. Last night I had 2 dreams about Elena. In one of them, she had a brother in this horrible detention place underneath the West Side Highway. It was a new thing instituted by Giuliani, who came back as a special prosecutor of Russians who are under 14. Something like the Herod Initiative. In the other, my father was back from the dead saying how Elena should be on one of his daytime soaps. It was starring Brad Dourif and Dennis Weaver as experimental dentists building some strange new discovery in the garage like Dentist Wright Brothers. But in the dream, it was somehow our garage and Elena was living there. So my father said, well, she's part of the family. They should make her part of the show. She'll be a hit after 5 or 10 minutes. Then the dreams kind of collapsed into each other. And Elena was crying about her brother in the garage on the show, but it was also for real. And he was also her son. And she was also upset because Dennis Weaver was mainlining heroin in the bathroom, and somehow Giuliani was blaming her son for that. And I could see that the towers were still up behind all of this, and I didn't understand it because I knew they were down. I woke up thinking I hadn't done enough for Elena, and that it was partially my fault that the twins were going to fall, and I hadn't properly warned everybody. Even half awake, I could hear Elena saying, "You Americans, you marry us, but you can't get us out from under the West Side Highway. You Americans, you have your beloved buildings, but you can't keep them up." It was so disturbing that I had to call her to ask her whether she had a brother. Anyway, give me a call. Let me know if you need to cancel over the rain. Right now, it's a real mother jumper rain. It's like coming down. So you probably wouldn't want the infiltration. I wish you could have seen the Scorsese Mook guy. Of course, he'd be 43 years older now, but I didn't think of that. Anyway, boy, I'll tell you, seeing those goddamn buildings with all those windows and all those lights in the night, and they just don't know what's going to happen to them. And I just can't get the word out because I can see that the planes are on their way, and I know what'll happen when they hit, and I ought to be getting everybody evacuated out, but I don't seem to move. And I can't quite decide whether it's already happened, and that's why I know it, or whether it's just about to happen. And Elaine is going into the buildings for her brother, and I don't speak Russian enough to stop her, and